racing for Let's Go Racing. We open our second segment with the second part of our interview with your trainer, Michael Matz. Hope the folks were with us last week on the show. You and Bruce had a chance to go down to Fair Hill and talk to Michael about Union Ranks. We had the first part of that interview last week, and what a beautiful looking horse he was.
Yeah, no question, with that big blaze right all the way down to his nose. And yeah, you can see him. He's very easy to spot on the racetrack. And of course, Michael was very good with his time. And a tout today. Get yourselves out. This is our 5th week of Sports Week at the Daily News. It's our publication that comes out on weekends. I have a 3,400-word piece on Union Rags, Michael Matz, his owner, Phyllis Wyatt, the whole scene, so you can see it here, and then you can feel it when you read the story.
Well, when he had a chance to look at Union Rags on the racetrack, 2-year-olds tend to be kind of precocious. He was just very relaxed out there. Seemed like he knew exactly what was going on.
And that's the thing Michael said to me the first time I talked to him about it, how he's almost like a 3-year-old or an older horse that you don't have to teach all those lessons to. He's already gotten him, and he's a massive horse. He's 16.3. I mean, he grows much more. He's 17 hands as a 3-year-old, so he's got everything. And it was interesting. Peter Brett told me, it's in the story, he says he's a real pretty boy. That's why I wasn't sure if he was any good or not. Peter, of course, you see him on the horse. He's the exercise rider, but they've now found out he can also run. He's going to be the favorite next Saturday at the juveniles, no doubt about that.
Well, let's go back down to Fair Hill and get the second part of our piece on Union Rags.
When you go back to Churchill, I mean, obviously you had one unbelievable memory there on the first Saturday in May in 06. Do you think about that day, or will you think about it when you go back there?
We always think about that day, that's for sure. And like I say, we always look for the next one. And that horse put a pretty high standard on things. And so far, this horse is undefeated, and hopefully we can keep it that way. I don't know, it's a pretty tough job to do, but he has a very good disposition and temperament, so hopefully we'll try to do what Barbaro did.
Yeah, Barbaro, of course, is what Michael was talking about. Michael, how often do you think about him? I mean, we know the story. You almost were able to save him, and then it didn't work out. How often does he come into your thoughts even today?
Well, especially having some of his brothers and them not living up to the quality of Barbaro, it's always, the standard is quite high, and we always use him as the standard to say how good the horses are. And they're just hard to find that way, and we'll just never know how good that horse really was.
Now, Union Rags Barbaro comparisons will be inevitable because you're the trainer. Are there any at this stage?
Well, I'd say temperament-wise, they both have done the same on their racetrack. Union Rags certainly has a lot more to prove to catch up to Barbaro, and time will tell that.
After the Breeders' Cup, I know you well enough to know that you've already thought beyond that. What is your plan with Union Rags going forward?
Well, we plan to have 4 races with him this year, and then kind of obviously turn him out and give him some time to grow. He's a very big horse, and just let him mature a little bit, and we'll hopefully we won't have to run around and try to collect earnings to make it to the Derby. And if that's the case, then we'll set a plan where he can have a couple races, maybe 1 or 2 races, and then hopefully go to the Derby.
I know when you had Barbaro, you were thinking beyond that race, because everybody said, well, what's Michael doing? And you'll even be thinking long-term with this horse, if I can get him all the way through this thing.
Well, hopefully that would be the case. I don't think there's any distance limitations in him right now. He does have some speed, but he has a great temperament, and so far he's done everything we've asked him to do, maybe even more than we've asked him to do.
Will you bring him back here, Michael, or will you go to Florida after the Breeders' Cup?
That's probably either turn him out in Kentucky or Florida someplace.
And do you personally get excited about these horses? I know you're a pretty calm, rational guy, but this is different, isn't it?
Well, like I said, we had one horse in the Breeders' Cup in 2006, and to think that we might have this horse and another filly in the Breeders' Cup is, it really gets you to come up, get out of bed in the morning and come to work and No, I'm very excited.
I think you and I have been around the game for a long time, and the really good horses are a little bit smarter than the other ones, and he might just fit that bill.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things they like about him. Michael had a great line. He said when in the story, he said Barbaro was all business once he came on the track. He says this horse has a little better table manner. You understand what he's saying? And I thought that was a really good description of him. But yeah, and so they can do anything with him. Look, he's going to be really hard to beat in this race. I just think it's not a particularly great crop of 2-year-olds. I'm not all that impressed with anything. I'm not sure what's coming from Europe. This horse is going to be the favorite, and I think he's going to win it.
Well, we wish him the very best, as we all like Union Rags right here on Let's Go Racing. Let's get to our national coverage now. The national races this week are brought to you by